guys so much for coming out to see me. I've been in Toronto about a week and a half now, mostly because they're filming the Mortal Instruments movie here. Which is awesome. And I've been on set, and it's been a lot of fun. And, you know, it's been great to experience Toronto, and I've been looking forward to the signing, so I would get to see all of you guys. So it's all worked out very well. And thank you for coming out to see me. So I decided I wasn't going to read. I was going to take questions. So we have not that much time because we're going to have a, looks like kind of a long signing line, and I want to get a chance to talk to you guys when you come up. So I'm going to answer some of these. Okay. Where can I witness the filming of the movie? The movie sets keep themselves pretty much on the DL. They don't want really, you know, too many people hanging around watching. It's supposed to be secret, but you can find out where they are. You just have to be kind of clever on Google. But I can't, you know, I can't tell you any more than that. And also, really, almost all the filming now is on the set, on the studio set. So it's a big, old, abandoned glass factory, and you can't get in. It's really fun to be inside, but yeah, they don't let anybody in. All right. These are I'm getting like a whole bunch of Team Will or Team Jen? Team Larry, Team Simon Izzy, Team Simon and Miss Alec. I understand these questions and why you were asking me, but like I can't be Team Will or Team Jen because it's like being in a sporting match that you know how it's gonna end. You know, like I can't like have a team because if I have a team, then it would end the way that I wanted my team. You know, the team that I wanted to win would be the team that won. So it's like a roundabout way of asking what's going to happen. It's very sneaky. But so I don't really have a team. I'm not really Team Will or Team Jem. I mean, one of the things I like about writing the Infernal Devices actually is that I like Will and I like Jem. You know, neither of them are obviously a bad choice for Tessa. They're both good guys. They're both sweet. You know, they both have different things to offer. And they really care about each other. So they have this great friendship. And I feel like to be Team, like that if Will wouldn't want me to be Team Will, Jem wouldn't want me to be Team Jem. They would be sad for the other guy. So that's terrible when the characters are so nice. Are Godfrey, Rob, Jamie, Kevin, Jonathan, and Aiden as sexy as they look online in real life? I don't know, my husband's here with me. What do you think? Online they're better lit, he says. I would love to say that in real life, you know, they're actually hideous, but you know, they're actually I think they're better looking in real life. You know, they have, you know, still picture. Yeah, they move around and do stuff. It's exciting. They're gorgeous. Godfrey's like the most ridiculously beautiful like man in the world. He's so tall too. Robbie is really pretty. Like he has these big green eyes. Jamie's gorgeous, like beautiful. Like he just has a beautiful face. Kevin's hot. Everybody always wants to touch his biceps. And Jonathan and Aiden I feel better about commenting on because they're closer to, they're actually my age. So like, they are both really hot. Yeah, it's a hot cast. It's a whole bunch of people being hot. I mean, and the girls are not unhot. You know, they're also hot. At the end of the Infernal Devices, are the remaining characters content with the outcome, or does it end up with impressed shadow hunters and downworlders? Some of the characters are happy, and some of the characters are sad. I know that was mean. I know. Can we expect a cameo of you in the City of Bones movie? Yes! And it was really fun. It was Magnus's party, and I got to dress up and wear cat ears. And I was like, I think I was some kind of cat demon or something. Not totally sure. So I got like really high heels and like crazy nails, and I got big gold ears stuck to my head. And then I hung around like a table full of other demons. I was with a demon and I was a demon and a banshee and a ghoul, and we were all kind of like hanging out. And the shadow hunters would kind of walk by us, and we would kind of track them like. And eventually, I think they started to notice that I was like not exactly a regular extra, because people kept coming up to me and asking questions like, you know, would Izzy do this? Or, you know, what do you think Jace would say here? And they were like, who are you? And I was like, I wrote the books that the movie is based on. It's so embarrassing. And they were like, I was like, I don't really dress like this most of the time. And they were like, oh, like 3 of them were like, oh, these were books, and then the other one was like, I love those books. He was like, I'm a huge fan of the Hunger Games. Do you like the Hunger Games? And I was like, I do like the Hunger Games. And we had this whole long conversation where he was just like, I really like John Green, and I was like, you're dressed like a troll. But yeah, I like John Green too. So like we had like this whole conversation about YA books. I'll never meet that guy again, and I wouldn't even recognize him because he was covered in devil makeup and had these huge horns. But we spent the whole evening being like, I really enjoyed that YA book. Yeah, me too. So it was fun, and you can definitely see me as the Shadowhunters go by. It sort of pans by our table. What is your favorite rune and why? I think I like Fearless. I like Fearless because I feel like it gives you the opportunity to do things you wouldn't or otherwise normally do. I feel we're often held back by fear of failure and that kind of thing, and Fearless kind of frees you from that. Okay, is anyone here not read City of Lost Souls? I like this. Are Alec and Magnus going to figure out the problems in their relationship by the end of the Mortal Instruments series?
That's a no.
There's a lot of Alec and Magnus in City of Heaven. I can't tell you what happens, but their interaction is far from over. Is it rated R? As Kevin was asking me the other day, he's like, how much stuff do me and Magnus do? And Jemima's actually the one who's like, she and Jamie have read them all. Everybody else has read like the first 3 mostly, and Kevin's like all halfway through the second one. So he's like, how much stuff do we like do? And Jemima's like, you do a lot. She was like, it's like 50 Shades of Gay. I love Jemima. She's awesome. And he was like, okay. I mean, like, he didn't mind. He was just like, well, all right, you know, I got best better, you know. Kids know God feeling better. I was like, you'll be okay. It says, answer this. What inspired the creation of the character of Magnus? Magnus is partially based on a friend of mine that I used to hang out with back in the day when I first moved to New York, and we used to go dancing. And he was always covered in glitter, and it never came off. It was like magic, and we were always like, "How do you manage to keep the magical glitter on you at all times?" And does church get together with Chairman Meow? They're both neutered. I don't really have those feelings. But I guess they can have a beautiful platonic and asexual love. If you could pick one guy from the series to be with in real life, who would it be? But my husband's here. I mean, that's not fair. You want you to stick your fingers in your ears? I know they're not gonna like it. I think I would actually be with Henry because I feel like Henry is awesome. And he would always be inventing crap for me. Like, I'd be like, you know, like, I'm trying to figure out, like, I don't want to keep having to go all the way down to the basement to get the laundry. So he would invent some kind of huge mechanical arm that went through the floor and picked up the laundry. That'd be great. I mean, it'd be 140. Let's see, definitely will find that out. If you could parabatai with any character from either series, who would you choose and why? Oh gosh, probably, it's really hard to say. I feel like Alec would make a great parabatai because he's so practical. I was watching the movie, them film a scene, and like, it's lovely to watch the characters sort of the actors interpret the characters, because it's just fun to see the little things they do that they think they're in character. And so they all are just going through a doorway, and then Alec kind of stops and like looks around behind them, checks all the exits, looks up and down, and then he shuts the door. And I was like, he is so practical. Everybody else is just like, oh, you wander into danger. And Alec is like, I think we should look around maybe first before we go into rooms. And I was like, that's just such a great little thing about him. And he's so practical that he would make a great parabatai, but also Will and Jem are clearly like really loyal people, so they would be great parabatai to have. So I don't know. I don't think I could pick. Obviously, I have not picked Jay, so I don't know that about that. All right. What are Magnus's true feelings about Will? Magnus's feelings about Will are really complicated. I mean, you kind of have a crush on Will. I mean, like, it's sort of more subtle than that. He has this like complex about feeling responsible for Will. He feels like he feels there's like a Chinese proverb about how if you save someone's life, you're responsible for them forever. Which kind of seems backwards, but then if you think about it, you know, you saved their life, you stopped them from, you know, maybe it was their time, so you kept them alive, and so the rest of their life, the fact that they have a rest of their life is sort of your fault. So you're responsible. And so I think he feels that feeling of, I'm responsible for this guy. I gave him his life back, you know. I told him the truth, you know. I gave him his life back. Now he knows who he really is, and he knows, you know, that he's been living his life thinking this thing about himself that's not true. So now I'm responsible for his happiness. Like, I need to make sure that, you know, the thing that I did results in him being happy and not, you know, in something that will destroy him. So he feels very responsible for Will, who he thinks of as fragile and breakable and, you know, delicate, which is kind of funny. But I mean, you know, Will is breakable in his way. Can Sebastian be saved in any way, demon blood and all? No. Okay, who wants Sebastian to be saved?
No, that's unfortunate.
Who doesn't? The Sebastian versus the anti-Sebastian crowd. You know, it's an interesting and disturbing question because there's no way for Sebastian really to be saved given the things he's already done. Like, they're unforgivable things, you know? So the only way for him to be saved would really be for him to be transformed into a completely different person. So I guess we'll see what happens. And even then, I think it would be, you know, it would be very difficult. And, you know, it also raises the question of how can you be saved when, if you are saved, you become a person who is capable of recognizing that the things that you did before were awful. And how do you live with that? So, you know, complicated question. Who would I want to be in a Shadowhunter world, Downroller, Vampire, War? I would actually probably want to be a Warlock because they live forever, but they don't have to drink any blood, and I think blood is kind of gross. Okay. Do I like mangoes? I do like mangoes. My favorite fruit. How long did it take to write City of Lost Souls? About a year. Each book takes about a year. Jace or Will? Will. Cassandra, do you write ideas down right away when they come or let them develop first? I tend to write ideas down because otherwise I will forget about them. And I've discovered this over many times that I've been like lying in bed and I suddenly have an idea and I'm like, that's a great idea. I'm so tired and I don't want to get up and I don't want to go downstairs and get like a pen or, you know, get my computer. So I'm just going to remember this idea. and I'll work on it tomorrow. And then I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what was that idea? I have no idea! I only know that I had a great idea and now it's gone, and that's like the worst feeling. So I keep a pad of paper next to my bed, and I write down things like now when I have ideas, and I have a note, like the note section on my phone. I like sort of crazily type like things into it when I have ideas, because I just don't want to forget them later. Although the greatest thing is, I had a back injury for a while, so they gave me Ambien to sleep because my back hurt, and Ambien makes you kind of loopy. So I would take the Ambien and I'd be about to go to sleep and I'd be like, I have a great idea. And then I would write it down in the morning and it would be like, you know, the Magister is really made of hummus. And I was like, that idea wasn't so good. So, I don't recommend writing on Ambien or any other night-altering substances. Okay, who is my favorite character? Which one is most like you? Simon and Tessa are the most like me.
Woo! Simon!
Simon! I blame Robbie. There's like this new crop of like Simon fans who are like, Simon! And I'm like, where were you guys before? You get a long-term Simon fan? Okay. I believe you. Well, I keep telling Rob, I'm like, women will, you know, love you, and Robbie keeps being like, but I'm like, you know, Simon. I'm like, I'm not the hot guy, and I'm like, oh. You mispressed. How excited are you for the movie? I mean, I'm excited. I'm nervous. You know, like a movie is sort of like. I've seen, you know, some of the filming. I haven't seen the whole thing. Movies are made in the editing process, you know. So, how it's going to turn out, I don't even know yet. You know, so I'm excited, but I'm also nervous to see how it turns out. I saw the trailer, and it looks amazing. I thought. Yeah, he likes it. I know, we were both like, oh my god, it's a real movie. You know, like the thing came up with like, you know, this preview is approved for the following audiences, and we were both like, already excited. But like, yeah, it looks really cool, so that makes me feel, you know, optimistic and positive. I know all the actors are really great. They're overqualified for these roles. They're all really good. And I know they're really sincere about their characters, and I know that everybody involved in the project really cares about the books and really wants to, you know, do the best job that they can. And you know, so all of that makes me feel good. So I am really excited. Is Church the cat from the Infernal Devices the same as Church the cat in the Mortal Instruments? Yes. Yay! That's an easy question. Yes, no questions. If I'm tossing them away, it's just because I've already answered them. In your mind, do you have a soundtrack for your books? Yeah, actually, I listen. I make soundtracks for all of my books, and they're actually up on my website. If you go and look on my website, they're on there. Will Gabriel Lightwood redeem himself? Gabriel is a much more redeemable character than Sebastian. Gabriel not having actually killed anybody or, you know, done any other of the gross things that Sebastian has done. So, I mean, Gabriel's an interesting character. He and Gideon, sort of two sides of the same coin. Can he redeem himself? Yeah, I think if he makes the right decisions, he can redeem himself. If he makes the wrong decisions, he can be a very dangerous enemy to have. Are Jessamine and Isabel related? They are not related. Not related. Are you going to write other books that are not related to Shadowhunters? Yes, I have a 5-book fantasy series called The Magisterium that is coming out. 5 books starting 2014, early 2014, and then it goes 1 book a year for the next 5 years. That I'm co-writing with Holly Black. Great, we love Holly. And they're really cool so far, and we're really excited about writing them. We think you will like them. They are dark and kind of fun and twisty.
Yeah. All right, I think we have 1 more minute. We're going to do some lightning round.
Okay, I'll do lightning round. Who do you want to put on the cover of City of Heavenly Fire? Everybody. That's my dream. Everybody, like the X-Men shot. Is there any way to make the release date any sooner? No. If you could pick a time period of shadow hunting to be in, what would it be? It would be in the future when they have cured all diseases. Again, by being infused with heavenly fire. That is a question that is just asking me what happens in the next book. I can see through your ruses. Is there going to be another book after Clockwork Princess? Not in the Infernal Devices series, but there will be the first book of the Dark Artifices, and the very end of Clockwork Princess connects up to the Dark Artifices. In kind of a fun way. So there's a big family tree in Clockwork Princess. You can see how everybody's related to everybody. Okay, are you sad that the Infernal Devices and the World Instruments? Yes, it is weird to end two series in the kind of the same amount of time because you have to say goodbye to the characters, and it's very, you miss them and you want to write about them more, but everybody, you do have to say goodbye. Let's see.
Grand finale question.
Okay, have you been working on the Dark Artifices? And is there anything you can tell us about it? I can tell you that the characters from the Dark Artifices play a very important and kind of dark part in the beginning of City of Heavenly Fire. So you will see Julian again. He was briefly in City of Lost Souls, and you will see that family, you will see Emma in City of Heavenly Fire and get a little bit of a sense for who they are. All right?
All right.